Hello guys, this is What If Naruto Was in High School DxD. There will be a surprise in here by the way, but let's get started, and I can't do thumbnails good because my computer broke, so I need some help with that, and I am using phone to make thumbnail and record, so you can join my Discord and DM me or message me, and I know this thumbnail is, but let's start. What if? False Kuo Academy. The sounds of battle were heard everywhere. This is a rating game between both nobles of Devil's High Society. On one side is Rias Gremory, the younger sister of one of the Maos, Surzex Lucifer. Her peerage right now consists of a queen, a knight, a rook, a bishop, and a pawn that is using all 8 pieces. Rias is a gorgeous girl with large bust and buxom figure. She has blue-green slightly mischievous eyes. Her exceptional feature is her long, crimson hair that reaches down to her thighs, and a single strand sticking out from the top. Her hair also has loose bangs framing her forehead and side bangs that frame her face perfectly. She is one of the 2 great ladies of Kuo Academy, the One-sama to all the girls in the academy, and was idolized by everyone in academy. Rias's queen, Akino Himejima. She is the 2nd great lady in Kuo. Akino has a buxom figure similar or greater than Rias. She has violet eyes and a very long black hair that usually tied in a long ponytail, reaching all the way down to her legs with 2 strands sticking out from the top and sloping backwards, with an orange ribbon keeping it in place. Right now she is wearing a Miko, Shrine Maiden, attire to use her magic. Only the members of Rias's peerage know that Akino is actually a sadist, but it seems that she even feels proud about that. Rias's knight, Yuto Kiba. Kiba is a handsome young man with short blonde hair, gray eyes, and a mole under his left eye. He wears the Kuo Academy boys' school uniform, which consists of a black blazer with white accents over a white, long-sleeved dress shirt with a black ribbon on the collar, matching black pants, and brown dress shoes. Yuto is a very polite young man which attracts much attention from girls in the academy. Kaneko Tuju is Rias Gremory's rook. But her birth name is Chiron. Because of her complicated past, she didn't want to use her real name. She is not a human, but a nekisho, a rare kind of Nekomata that are near extinct. Kaneko is a petite girl with short white hair and golden eyes. She also wears a black cat-shaped hair clip on both sides of her hair. She usually wears the Kuo Academy girls' school uniform, without the shoulder cape. She rarely shows any emotions and usually deadpans with Rias's pervert pawn due to his pervert antics. Asia Argento, one of Rias's bishops and the newest addition to her peerage. Asia is a girl around 15 to 16 years of age with long blonde hair and green eyes. Her hair flows all the way down to her back, with split bangs over her forehead, and a single strand sticking out from the top, sloping backwards. Her main attire consists of a dark teal nun outfit with light blue accents, a white veil over her head with light blue accents, a brown satchel slung on her right hip, where she holds her Bible, and brown boots with black straps in an X-shaped pattern. She also wears a silver cross necklace around her neck. Before she was reincarnated, she was a nun that worked under fallen angels. After the accident that cost her life, she was reincarnated as a devil by Rias Gremory. Last but not least, Rias's pervert pawn, Issei Hayado, which considers being the strongest pawn for 2 reasons. 1. He absorbed all the 8 pawn pieces. 2. He is the host of one of 2 heavenly dragons, Draig. His sacred gear is a Longinus called Boost Gear, which was said to have the power to kill even gods. Issei an average-looking human, but is extremely obsessed with boobs. He has spiky brown hair, and the back of it is sticking in two directions pointing downward. His reason for joining the peerage is because he wants to be a harem king, and strives to become an ultimate-class devil to achieve his dream. Of course, he couldn't reject the offer from the most beautiful girl in Kuo. As the battle went on between Riser Phoenix all-female peerage and Rias's, the latter was at a huge disadvantage because she doesn't have all her pieces right now, but Riser has all of. Why did this battle start? Because Rias refused to marry Riser. Their marriage was an arranged marriage created by her parents. She didn't have a say in it at all. That's why in order to free herself from that horrible marriage, Rias must win this rating game at all cost. Right now all her peerage was defeated except herself and her pawn, Issei Hayadu. Riser still has his queen left. Issei is at his limit and is panting heavily. Just surrender, Rias. I admit your peerage gave an impressive fight, but that's it. It's impossible to win against me in your situation. Be a good fiancé and submit to me, Riser said and leers down at her with hungry eyes. Rias glared back full force at Riser and shout. Like heck I will. I told you before, Riser. I refuse to marry such a shallow guy as you. Riser sighed and said in a fake solemn voice. Shame. Maybe I should destroy that precious Seker Yuri eye of yours right in front of your eyes to make a point? Riser looked down at Issei and created a sphere of hot flames. Rias' eyes widened at his claim. No, whispered Rias in horror. Issei. Run away. Hurry. Unfortunately, Issei was too tired to even move, so he could only watch on absolute horror when the sphere of flame was launched at him. Riser was smirking evilly and satisfyingly. Finally he will be rid of that filthy dragon. But a voice, at Issei's location, interrupts his triumphant moment. And the flame slowly losing the heat, but still managed to produce some steam. Oju-sama, I feel a little disappointed in your peerage. I would have thought that you will be able to win against this fried chicken easily. It's a relief that I've returned in time. The wind slowly cleared the steam caused by the flame, and revealed a figure standing there with calm eyes. It was a teen with spiky golden hair with black highlights. The strangest thing is his eyes have an atom-like structure and a pinwheel inside it. The figure is wearing a high-collared dark blue t-shirt with a yin-yang symbol on the back. He also wears a black choker that has a stone with kanji 4 dark aka Yami. He has a bored look on his face and seems very relaxed in such a tense situation. Rias noticed the figure and sighed in relief. Finally her strongest member is here. Yes, the strongest, you heard it right. Even stronger than Rias herself. He was not called Invincible Knight in Underworld for no reason. You are late, Naruto, complained Rias despite the current situation she is in. She stomped to Naruto in a flash and pointed a finger at him. How dare you show yourself in front of me, your king, after you got here late? I should punish you for such mistake. Naruto rolled his eyes at Rias' antics. Why the heck she always changes her personality 180 when he is near, he never knows. For some reason his Ojusama enjoyed being bossy around him. Hi. Are you done yet? Naruto waves his hand down, dismissing Rias. That action just caused Rias to become even more annoyed at her annoying knight. So what if he was considered the strongest knight in history? That won't matter to her at all. Because she is his Ojusama, and will order him as much as she want. How dare you dismiss my words like they are nothing important, demanded Rias furiously, and pointing her index finger at Naruto. Naruto's sweat dropped at his Ojusama's phrase and replied back. I was late because I've some business to take care of. Besides, before I left, you said yourself that you will be fine without me. And now you are blaming me for being late? That's just not fair, Ojusama. Rias felt even more irritated when he was right. She just huffed and turned her head aside. Even so. You should know better to agree with my words so easily. I sometimes can make wrong decision too, you know. Naruto deadpanned and sweat dropped. Now she said he must reconsider her words. He rubbed his forehead and began to think. Why the heck is he serving this girl again? Oh, because of the incident with 4 Miles a long time ago. He sighed and stated. Okay, Ojusama. This lowly servant was at fault, and is asking Her Highness to forgive him for his foolish action. Hearing that caused Rias to beam brightly. Then she pointed at Riser and ordered childishly. Riser will marry me if I lose this rating game. Now my ultimate knight. Go. And bring me the victory. Naruto just nodded his head tiredly and began to approach Riser and his queen. The whole time when Rias and Naruto were arguing with each other, Issei had observed them curiously. Bucho and that blonde seemed to be very close. Besides, he never saw Bucho act like this before. She acted like a spoiled little girl that demands to get anything she wants. He found that side of Bucho really cute. Then he heard Bucho ordered the blonde to fight against Riser and Yubaluna. He was about to protest, but Bucho approached him with the usual expression that he saw every day and said, Don't worry, Issei. Naruto is here, so the fight is already over. Why do you have that much confidence in his abilities, Bucho? Issei asked her curiously. Why, you ask? Rias turned to Issei with a smirk. She turned her head back to look at Naruto. Maybe you should just see it for yourself. Naruto versus Riser and Yubaluna. Naruto stood in front of both Riser and Yubaluna with the same bored look. On the contrary, Riser was scared shitless. Nobody has ever told him that Rias has one of the strongest pieces in the underworld, the invincible knight. However, Yubaluna was the opposite. She is blushing like crazy while looking at Naruto's cool and careless face. Even though she knew that to lust after anyone other than her master is wrong, still she couldn't help it. By the order of my Ojusama, I must reluctantly defeat both of you. I am sorry, nothing personal really, Naruto said plainly and scratched the back of his head. Ha! Never thought that the invincible knight was Rias's lapdog. Lapdog. You didn't seem so tough though, Riser taunted Naruto, trying rile him up. Though he failed horribly as Naruto's face remained expressionless. You are really horrible at playing psychologic games, Nuwatari-kun, Chicken-kun. If you are bad at it, then don't reveal it so that you don't feel embarrassed in front of your foe. Naruto deadpanned while waving his finger, lecturing Riser, which pissed the latter off greatly. Enough talking. I will end you, and then make Rias my wife, shouted Riser furiously, and materialize his hands to burning wings of a phoenix. Naruto simply looked up at Riser with a calm look. Then he turned to Yubaluna and claimed, Oju-chan, I recommend you to back away from here as soon as possible. If you won't listen to my words, I will tear your clothes to pieces, and have my way with you right here. Naruto said those phrases with an expressionless face, which made the effect on Yubaluna more devastating. What? How dare you say something so dirty with a straight face like that? You lewd monkey, sputtered Yubaluna with enormous blush, and even have blood dripping from her nose from such erotic fantasy. Why are you worked up like that so easily? That was just a joke. Simply a joke, said Naruto with a mischievous smirk. Then he waved a finger to shame her. Tisk, tisk. Who knew that Oju-chan has such a dirty mind? Your master is not enough, now you want to lay your hands on me as well? Yubaluna blushed like never before. She screamed in embarrassment and fury, then charged at Naruto with a flaming bomb. At the same time, Riser created a huge fireball and threw it at Naruto. Naruto looked at the attacks with his EMS calmly. When they nearly hit him, he raised his hands up and said one word to dismiss both of attacks. Amaterasu. Naruto's right eye began to bleed, and from the void a pitch-black flame appears and consumed both of Riser's and Yubaluna's attacks. Both were shocked that their techniques were defeated so easily. How? That was a word whispered by those two in utter shock. Do you have any other trick? Naruto asked and turned the flames of Amaterasu off with his other eye. But I recommend you just surrender. Why the heck are you so obsessed with my Oju-sama anyway? You've a peerage consist of sexy girls and still want more. That just too greedy, Nuwatari-kun. My Oju-sama has made it clear that she doesn't want to marry you. So just accept that fact. Naruto told him with a bored face, and even sitting down in a lotus position, and crossed his arms. I am not done yet, golden jerk, shouted Riser furiously and flew up high to create a huge burning sphere that resembled a sun. Ha ha ha. Now I will end you with this technique. Inferno catastrophe. And so he threw the technique at the waiting figure of Naruto. The heat produced by the technique was so much that it caused Naruto to sweat. Not a bad technique, Nuwatari-kun. But Naruto wiped his sweat off his forehead. And his figure was enveloped by a purple figure that was building up from skeleton to armor. The figure has 3 hands. One holding a sakagari, the other holding a transparent shield. That last hand is holding a sphere made of Amaterasu flame. Susanoo. Susanoo then opened his sakagari and produced some kind of wavering sword. Such a good flame. I even feel it will be a waste to seal it away in Totsuka no Tsurugi. But it will be fine. Naruto nodded his head in fake sadness and pointed Totsuka no Tsurugi at the fake sun and absorbed it all inside. Riser was gobsmacked that his most powerful technique was sealed away so easily. Even Yubaluna was shocked as hell. It's the first time she saw her master's technique fail to defeat a foe. Naruto deactivated Susanoo and looked up at Riser with a tick in his forehead. Okay, I feel really annoyed now. I will count to 3 if you won't surrender. I will just kick your ass. 3, 2, 1. Just as Naruto was about to call 1, Riser shouted in fright. I surrender. Naruto nodded his head satisfied and began to approach Yubaluna. He saw she was full of bruises and opened his palm to chant. Recuperare. The glowing green light enveloped Yubaluna and began to heal her at ridiculous rate. In no time, she was as good as new. She looked at her hands in wonder, then looked up at Naruto. Why? I told you before, it's nothing personal. I simply act by Oju-sama's command, that is all. And you, Oju-chan, also acted on your master's commands. Naruto explained to her, simply unknowingly made Yubaluna develop a bigger crush on him. Naruto turned back and began to leave. Well, I will go back to my Oju-sama now. Take care, Oju-chan. My name is Yubaluna, by the way. Yubaluna screamed out at him. Naruto just raised his hand up to acknowledge her words. Even though she still has some phoenix tears left, she was grateful that he has healed her with his magic. With Rias and Issei. Since the start of the battle, Issei dropped his jaw not once but thrice. First, because of what Naruto told Yubaluna with a straight face. Then when he heard that was a joke, he started to grip his fist in frustration. The comical tears ran down his eyes. And of course, Rias felt extremely annoyed at Naruto's so-called harmless jokes. Not once in her short life she has ever made that annoying blonde blushed. Not even when she embraced him with her birthday suit. He just comments that she was really sexy and will be a dream of lots of guys. There was even unspoken rule in Underworld. Whoever will make Naruto blush can claim him. No matter if it's a married female devil or not. That rule actually was created by Seraphal Leviathan. So far no one ever managed to make him blush, but on the contrary, he always will say something ridiculously shameless and then dismiss that by saying it was a joke. He would not even laugh about that, just have that annoying smirk all the time. Issei was also shocked about Naruto's ability. He has neutralized both of Riser and his queen's attacks with a pitch-black flame. Then Riser launched an attack that resembled a mini-sun, but that Naruto guy materialized a purple figure out of nowhere and enveloped himself with it. The purple figure then used the Sakagari on one of its hand and completely absorbs Riser's technique. During the entire fight, that Naruto guy not even dirties his clothes. And that's just scary. Bucho and the others have struggled so much with Riser's peerage. And yet this dude just displayed a part of his power to make them surrender. Now he understood the reason why he is Rias's strongest piece. During that time, Drake inside of Issei's right hand felt an enormous power sealed in the stone on Naruto's choker. Aibo, partner. This guy is incredibly strong. And he even has a very powerful sacred gear that is sealed inside that stone. Nanny? Such a powerful guy and yet he still has a sacred gear? Issei muttered in shock, gazing at the approaching figure of Naruto. Just what kind of monster is this Naruto? Naruto is standing right in front of Rias right now. He then put his palm to his chest and bowed down respectfully. Oju-sama, mission complete. Rias nodded her head satisfyingly with a victorious smirk. Then as usual, her personality started to turn 180 when Naruto is around. Good job, my knight. Rias nodded satisfyingly, but changed her expression to deadpan and point at him. But your punishment still won't go anywhere, understand? Naruto's sweat dropped and wondered. Why am I being punished again, Oju-sama? Didn't you said it yourself, that it was your fault not mine? Rias blushed in embarrassment and pointed her finger shakily at him. Shut up. I am your king, therefore I decide to punish you or not. Even Issei felt that is unfair to Naruto, but he knew better to open his mouth when his bucho is like this. Naruto sighed and nodded his head tiredly. Hi. So what is my punishment, Oju-sama? Rias smirked victoriously and pointed at Naruto and claimed. For now I order you to carry me on your back. I feel terribly tired from this fight. This will be your first punishment. Issei heard that and widens his eyes in shock. He felt extremely jealous of Naruto that moment. Bucho. I also want for you to punish me. The comical tears ran down his eyes. Naruto yawned and muttered, why me though? I can see it clearly that dude over there wants to do it more than me. I said, come here and carry me, ordered Rias loudly. Then she looked to Naruto's eyes and saw that he still has his EMS activated. And turned off your creepy eyes. Naruto gained a tick mark at her remark and retort. Oi, don't call my eyes creepy. Don't forget these eyes saved you plenty of times, baka. Nanny? How dare you call your Oju-sama baka? It's decided your punishment will be doubled. No, tripled. Issei looked at the pair with a sweat dropped. Somehow they looked like an old arguing married couple to me. Naruto sat down and waited for Rias to climb to his back. She embraced his neck a bit tight, then placed her mouth near his ear and whispered. Welcome back, Naruto. Naruto closed his eyes, smiling a bit, then he stood up and also whispered. I am back, Oju-sama. With Surzex in Graphia. 5 minutes before Naruto's arrival. Surzex looked at the screen to observe the rating game between his sister and Riser Phoenix. So far he saw she handled the situation really well, despite not have the whole set of her peerage. But the situation turned worse when Riser's queen took out not only Kaneko, but Akino as well. On Ria's side, only she, her knight, Kiba, newly reincarnated bishop, Asia, and a pawn with the power of Sekiryuti Issei. Issei has unlocked the new power of his boost gear and transfer the power to Kiba. The former used sword birth and successfully rid the rest of Riser peerage. But even so, Kiba still not strong enough to defeat Riser's queen, and was defeat in the end. Asia was with Rias the whole time, so she was okay. Issei on the other hand was exhausted because he has yet to master the new power of his sacred gear. Rias decided to head to the enemy's side to confront Riser. Riser managed to trick Rias and took out Asia of the game. Asia was defeated by Yubaluna, the later using her specialty to cause explosion by her magic. Yar, yar. It seems my Riatan is having a rough time. Even if this is her first rating game, I can't believe that she is gonna lose. Wine Surzert's Lucifer and twirling a glass of wine in his hand. It seems Ria-sama will lose this game, Surzek-sama. If that happen, will you really marry her to Riser-sama as agreed, wondered Grafia, his maid, queen and wife, with expressionless look. Surzex then looked at the screen and noticed one more presence on the battlefield. Looking at the newly arrived figure caused Surzex to grin. Nope. My Riatan is not out of the game yet. What do you mean, Surzex-sama? Wondered Grafia in confusion. Surely, you don't think that Oju-sama can win this game with just herself and that pawn? Despite he has the power of Seker Uti, he has yet to master it. Surzex shook his head and grin never left his face. Have you forget Grafia? Rias has the strongest knight in the history. The one that I personally gave her. Grafia's eyes widened slightly at his response. No way. The invincible knight? Yen nodded Surzex and added. The one that didn't have any fear in him. One that void of love, lust, shame, embarrassment, hesitation, jealousy. Practically all emotions that will made him ever hesitated in a battle. And titles mean nothing to him. That's why the devils of high society despised him. They always said to put him in a proper place. But all they can is throwing words at him. Because they don't have power to do what they intend to do. I don't understand, Surzex-sama. Grafia shook her head slightly. If he is that powerful, why did you give him to Ria-sama? I understand that she is your dear little sister. But he could have strengthened your peerage even more. Besides, if he is that powerful, why is he not ultimate class yet? Why I gave him to Rias? The reason is simple. I want him to move on from his past. A past that was so horrible that I don't ever wish on anyone else to experience something like that again. Why he is not ultimate class devil? That is the story for another time, Grafia. Surzex then looked at the screen to see how Naruto is making fun of Riser's queen, and then dismissed it as a joke. Seeing that caused Surzex to burst out laughing hard. Ha ha ha. To say such things and dismissed as a joke in a mere second. That Naruto-kun is really hilarious and unique. But Grafia has a tick mark appeared when she saw her husband burst out laughing. That Naruto sure knows how to irritate people. Then she saw Naruto materialized a purple figure that surrounds his body. Curious about his abilities, Grafia turned to her husband to find out. What is that astral figure that was summoned by Naruto-sama, Surzex-sama? Oh, that, replied Surzex and squint his eyebrows in thought. Ah. That is one of Naruto's abilities with his eyes. It's called Susanoo, if I am not mistaken. It actually has many other abilities that Naruto-kun still yet demonstrates. Besides, even I don't know all powers that his eyes possessed. Really? Those eyes have other abilities as well? Grafia wondered surprisingly. Yeah. His eyes also have other modes as well, Surzex added while still observing how Naruto used Susanoo to consume Riser's strongest attack. So much power in a mere boy, Graphia whispered silently to herself. But Surzex still heard her and replied solemnly. You don't know how much he has lost when obtained this power, Graphia-chan. Graphia turned her gaze to her husband questionably. Surzex just looked silently to the screen to see the end of the game. With Sona. But Surzex and Graphia weren't the only ones watching the game. Sona Citri, the heiress to Citri family, along with her queen Tsubaki Shinra, were observing the battle as well. After all, this is her best friend first rating game. After witnessing the battle, Sona turned off the screen and muttered to herself. Who would ever think that Rias is the master of Invincible Knight? Sure, everyone in Underworld knew that he is a knight, but the information to whom he belonged was never revealed. Kaicho, is that Knight of Rias-san really that powerful? Tsubaki wondered while adjusting her glasses. Yeah. I could tell clearly even though he was not serious at all in this battle. He still manages to defeat Riser and his queen easily. What we saw is about 1.5% of his power, replied Sona with his eyes narrowed. But that means he is stronger than Rias-san? That's absurd. I never heard that a piece is stronger than the king. Refute. Tsubaki shook her head. As you can see, it actually could happen, Sona said calmly. Tokyo. Issei's house. Everyone from Rias' peerage is looking at Naruto with a curious gaze. Naruto himself didn't show any emotion on his face, but just glanced at each of them. They were all sitting at the living room and waiting to hear Rias' explanation. Everyone, meet my other knight, Naruto. Rias introduced Naruto to her peerage. Then she turned to Naruto and remarked. Ora, Naruto. Introduce yourself to my peerage. Hey, muttered Naruto carelessly. I am Naruto. No surname, never know it. I am Oju-sama's knight. Oh, and I am her first piece of evil piece as well. First to greet him, of course, was the polite and disciplined Yuto. Nice to meet you, Naruto-san. Also welcome to Rias' peerage. Thank you for helping out our Bucho in the rating game. Yuto raised a hand for Naruto to shake. You are welcome. But that was just my duty. To comply with any of Oju-sama's wishes. That's the duty as her servant, replied Naruto, and shook Yuto's hand. Yuto smiled at Naruto's statement. This Naruto is sure so easy to get along with. Next to greet him is Akino. Of course, being the flirtatious as she is, she couldn't help but try to seduce Naruto. It's only a bonus that Naruto is fairly good looking. Oh, I never knew Bucho has such a handsome knight. Why did you hide him from us? Perhaps you afraid that I will snatch him away from you? Yufufu. Akino turned to Rias with mischievous eyes. And then covered mouth with her hand and closed her eyes with a taunt laugh. As if I need to hide him from you, Akino. Rias shot back, and then glanced at Naruto deadpanned. It's because I gave him freedom to travel wherever he want. But when I need him he must return immediately. That was my agreement with him. I see, said Akino, then turned to Naruto with a friendly smile. I am Akino Himejima, Rias's queen. Nice to meet you, Naruto-kun. The pleasure is mine, Himejima-san. Naruto replied back with a smile. That immediately caused Rias to react. Aura. Why the heck are you greeting Akino properly? But called me a tomato of destruction when we met for the first time? Rias demanded furiously and pointing at Naruto. Do you need me to remind how you act that time, Ojo-sama? Naruto retorted calmly with deadpan eyes. That actually shut Rias up immediately. So she just huffed and turned her head aside. The others were really surprised as this is the first time they saw Rias act like that. She is acting like a spoiled child. Tomato of destruction? Why did you call her that, Naruto-kun? Akino asked curiously while giggling a little. Well, where should I start? Naruto tapping his chin with index finger with mischievous eyes and glancing at Rias playfully. Don't you dare, Naruto. Rias warned him with a very scary look. She even activated her power of destruction to make a point. Naruto laughed nervously and stated, Ahaha. I already forgot. It's been so long after all. Oh, it's a shame then. I thought I would have some material to blackmail our Bucho, whined Akino in disappointment. Naruto then turned to a petite girl that is munching chocolate chips. What is your name, Ojo-chan? Don't know why, but you actually remind me of a cat. I am Kaneko Tuju. Nice to meet you, Naruto-senpai. Kaneko greet him stoically. Kaneko, ahem? Naruto thought for a while, then snapped his fingers as a nickname appeared in his mind. How about I call you Shiraneko then? Kaneko blinked. It's the first time someone decided to give her a nickname. That's acceptable. Kaneko nodded her head and took the other chip. Naruto then turned Issei with an interested look. You must be that famous pawn that not only consumed 8 pieces at once, but also a host to Sekiryu. Issei nodded his head and replied. That's right. I am Bucho's pawn, and I will make my dream come true. For effect, he pumped his fist up to the air. And what is your dream? Issei gained a pervert look and began to drool. To build my personal harem, of course. Is that so? But I am afraid you are already late. That Nuwatari-kun that I fought recently has already managed to build his harem. With that comment, Naruto just added more salt to Issei's non-existent wound. You don't need to remind me about that. Issei shot back at Naruto with comical tears. Ha ha ha. What an interesting guy you are, Hyodo-san. You deserve a great nickname. Naruto laughed out loud and nodded to himself. Then he squinted his eyes and thought. When an idea came to him, he again snapped his fingers and turned to Issei with a smirk. Nah, how about harem kutai? How did that sound, huh? Harem kutai, muttered Issei, trying out his new nickname. Then his smile widened and he shouted. Harem kutai. Yes, I like that. But Kaneko's comment caused him to cry comically. You are certainly the worst, Issei-senpai. Stop giving my servants your stupid nickname, Naruto Rias said in annoyance. They are not stupid. And actually suit them both, Ojo-sama, retorted Naruto, and crossing his hands. Then he narrowed his eyes slightly at her and wondered. Perhaps you want one for yourself as well, Ojo-sama? You want me to change how I address you? Rias huffed and turned her head aside. Ha, who need your stupid nicknames. And I am your king, therefore you're Ojusama. That won't change, ever. Naruto rolled his eyes at her comment. Why she always act like this when he is around? Anyone just give him the damn answer. Asia was keeping silent the whole time. She is trying to be as close to Issei as possible. She is too shy to say anything to Naruto. Not that he made her feel uneasy, it's just that she is not good with dealing with strangers, especially males. Issei, seeing Asia is still acting shy, and nudged lightly to her ribs and whispered, "Come on, introduce yourself, Asia. He is a good person." Hi, Issei-sen. Asia nodded hesitantly. She took a deep breath to prepare herself. Ayano, my name is Asia Argento. And nice to meet you, Naruto-san. Nice to meet you too, Argento-san. I heard before you joined Ojusama, you were a nun, right? Asia nodded her head carefully. So do you regret being reincarnated to a devil? 'Cause being a devil you can't pray to God after all. No, I don't regret that. Because by becoming a devil, I've met so many friends, Rias Bucho, Akino-san, Kaneko-chan, Kiba-san and Issei-san. Just that already made my extremely happy, replied Asia, with a cute smile. I see. Naruto smiled slightly and nodded his head. Where Naruto will stay, Bucho, wondered Akino suddenly. I haven't decided yet. But I will call my brother later to find out, replied Rias while tapping her chin. If you not against it. I'd like for Naruto-kun to live with me at the shrine, Akino proposed while turned her lustful look at Naruto. Of course, Naruto just blinked back olishly at her. Absolutely not. Naruto is my personal servant since I was 8. He must serve only me. Rias refuted Akino's idea completely. Ojusama, if I must live with you, then I request no more climbing to my bed naked. And no more stripping me at midnight, deadpan Naruto with crossed arms. What? Shouted Issei and cried tears of jealousy at Naruto. You had slept with Bucho. And that was not even once. He began to shake Naruto violently. Oi oi, harem kutii. Stop that. That was Ojusama that always climb into my bed, not otherwise. Naruto tried to calm down the jealous Sekirutii. Bucho was already that naughty at such age? Akino asked teasingly. I just want to make him blush just once. But all attempts failed horribly. Rias sighed in defeat. Then it was decided that Naruto will spend the night at a cult club room. Rias and Asia decided to stay with Issei while Kaneko and Kiba returned to their respective house. Next morning. Issei's house. The crew has gathered again at Issei's house. A surprised guest has decided to grace them with her presence. It was none other than Graphia. She has arrived to tell them about the congratulations party that Surzex has opened to celebrate his sister's first victory in a raiding game. I bid goodbye for now, Riasama. And once more congratulations on your victory, said Graphia stoically before she was teleported by Gremory's seal. It appears that my brother has hosted a congratulations party on my victory over Riser. Well, we should be going now. Don't need to keep my Oni-sama wait, replied Rias and turned to her peerage. "Hi Bucho," said everyone except Naruto. He found Issei's old Game Boy and is playing in it right now. Not hearing his response, Rias approached him with deadpan eyes and snatched his ear. Itai, Ojusama. Release my ear at once. I've heard you clearly. Naruto is pleading for her to let go of his ear, and is wincing in pain. Don't ever ignore me, Naruto. Or it will be worse, understand? Rias warned him with a chilling eyes. Naruto nodded his head, and when she let go of his ear, he sighed in relief. Now they remind me of mother and son. It's so confusing. What kind of relationship do they have? Comment Issei with a sweat drop. And it's funny to see someone that had defeated that grilled chicken, being scolded by Bucho. I think their relationship is unique and cute, added Asia, smiling at Rias, as she continued to scold Naruto, while he just rolled his eyes. It seems he just want her to end her scolding ASAP, so that he could return to his game. Maybe Bucho had that kind of fetish. Ufufu. That comment came from Akino. Gadiz, Underworld. Rias and her peerage have changed their clothes to suit the grand party. The first thing they saw is there are lots of people there. They all came here to congratulate Satan's sister on her first victory in rating game. Rias spots Sona and Tsubaki. She decided to approach her with Akino. Yuto and Kaneko go to eat some food. Well, Issei, being the pervert he is, couldn't take his eyes from young attractive she-devils. Naruto is walking around with a bored look to pass the time. Such grand parties are not in his taste at all. Congratulations on the winning again, Rias. Sona congratulated her best friend. Thank you, Sona. But actually that fellow over there did all the works, replied Rias, and pointing her big finger at the standing figure of Naruto in the distance. I know that. You never actually told me that you are the master of Invincible Knight. Why is that, wondered Sona curiously, also glancing at Naruto to inspect him. That's because Oni-sama said that Naruto is a unique piece. It's not wise to reveal him to anyone. Besides, he is annoying like hell. Always tried make me the one who was at fault, replied Rias, and snored at the end. I remembered that during the rating game. You said it yourself, that it was your fault, reasoned Sona, and adjusting her glasses. TCH, even so I don't like it when he is right, and I am not, Rias retort and huff. Sona could only sigh at her friend's antics. But this Naruto has opened to her a new personality of Rias. One that she didn't know exists. And she noticed that she only acts exclusively with him like that. That's certainly interesting. Naruto has caught the attention of many female devils with his good looks. But they also recognize him as Invincible Knight. As usual, he will say something extremely shameless and dismiss it as a joke. Clearly those female devils also knew that rule about him, and tried to get their hands on him. Though it's futile, no matter what they do they couldn't make Naruto flush. While the peerage is enjoying the party, Naruto decided to search for Surzex to give him a not very pleasant surprise for trying to marry his Ojusama without her permission. Long time no see, Ed Naruto-kun? Naruto turned his head to the right and saw Surzex in an expensive suit waving and smiling at him. Naruto wordlessly approached Surzex and punched him unexpectedly. Surzex actually knew that Naruto will punch him. He even knew the reason why. That's why he let Naruto hit him. But Naruto had monstrous strength would send him flying a few meters back and crash to the ground. I don't need to explain why I did that, right, Surzek-sama? Naruto looked down at Surzek calmly, like what he just did didn't bother him. Surzek slowly stood up, cleaning the dust from his clothes and rubbing his cheek to ease the pain from Naruto's punch. Yeah. I promise to never do something like that again to my Ryutan. Surzek rubbed his cheek and winced in pain. Even so, that was brutal, Naruto-kun. To punch me like that after we didn't see each other for so long. I wouldn't have punched you if you, Gremory-sama, and Venalana-sama pulled a stunt like that, Naruto retorted with deadpan eyes. To me, Oju-sama's happiness is the first priority. Gremory clan business, political marriage, 3 faction wars, something like that are secondary. That's I want you to remember, Surzek-sama. Naruto remarks with an expressionless facade. I understand, Naruto-kun. Surzek nodded his head and then turned to Naruto. But you also be careful out there.